Hey, today I'm talking about 3 Korean thriller films all featuring this actor. And the names of those 3 movies are Missing You, Hansel and Gretel, and Possessed. First up is Missing You. This is a 2016 film, and the basic premise is this man is sentenced to prison for killing someone, though it's likely that he actually killed a bunch of people, and everyone's really upset that he only got charged for just the one crime and not all of the crimes. One of the people that was killed was the chief of police, and his daughter was a small child who found him. Now, 15 years later, she's traumatized, works for the police, and now that this guy is getting out of prison, is not happy about things. And it's really good. The main bad guy in particular just gives such a great nuanced performance. Like, he's so terrifying because he has like this great, at any moment something could happen type of energy that's so scary. And like, he's ripped too. There's a shot of him without a shirt on, and it's scary how muscular he is. So like, just being in the same room as him is terrifying, let alone like in actually interacting with him. And he's so fast too, I calculated. And the story is so interesting too, because the bad guy is at times trying to prove his innocence without getting into specifics. He did kill people, but not everyone. So he's trying to work around the system that's trying to screw him over to prove his innocence. It's really, really interesting. The actor that I really like, Shim, she also gives such a great nuanced performance. I can't help but notice like the physicality of her. In the comedy films of hers that I've seen, it works brilliantly. It really reminds me of Steve Martin. But she's so good at it here too, just of like those little nuanced movements that you don't even really think about, that are just like internalized pain sort of thing, like those little tick things that you don't think about. She's just so good at them. But to go back to the main bad guy, I loved his I don't give a shit about anything attitude. Like, at one point he sees a wanted sign for him that's kind of falling down, and he reaches up to it and just pushes it back up because like, he doesn't give a shit. He knows what he's doing. Or even like, there are times like he'll be kind of sneaky, or other times he just will be in a public space and kind of making a nuisance, but again, doesn't care. It's really fun and interesting. And then he also does some investigation stuff that legitimately made him seem smart, and I really like that. That can be hard sometimes to convey. And then the end of the film goes hard. It's really good, really interesting. I didn't conceive of that ending, and I was very surprised when it went there, and it was a good, solid, satisfying, interesting ending. So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this film and would definitely recommend it. It definitely deserves the title of thriller. It's interesting. It goes to some unique places, some great character stuff. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic little film that I definitely recommend. Next up is Hansel and Gretel. This is a 2007 film, and the basic premise is not the story of Hansel and Gretel. There definitely are story elements of there in here, and like, the title does make sense in context of the film. It's just not the basic setup. So this guy is driving down a curvy road, and he's having a dramatic, important conversation on the phone. He gets distracted, gets into a car accident, gets thrown from the vehicle. Then suddenly this little girl appears in the woods to help him get out of the woods. She takes him to her home, and then he proceeds to be stuck in her home seemingly indefinitely. And it's pretty solid. Aesthetically, it definitely looks very of its time. Definitely like the color grading for sure, and it just very feels like a 2007 thriller horror film. I feel like a lot of the tension early on is just like, ooh, the kids are really creepy in this film, which is something that I really don't find creepy in general. Like, they're just kids. It never really gets me. But I did definitely enjoy everyone's performances, and I liked the mystery of the film, like figuring out what exactly is going on. Why is this house kind of seemingly magical? What's the deal with everything? How is this going to tie into Hansel and Gretel? And I will say, as we get answers, it gets stronger, especially the second half of the film. And then definitely without a doubt, the peak of the film is a flashback to basically the origin of everything. That goes to some really dark places and was just so interesting and really justified justified the Hansel and Gretel name, even though it's not an exact adaptation. But yeah, no, that section without a doubt made the movie for me. Definitively put it in the quite like, so it's like a 4 out of 5 for me. I don't think the very, very end went the smoothest, but I was kind of still riding on the high of the reveal that I didn't super mind the clunkiness of the end. So yeah, no, it's a good, interesting little movie. It didn't blow me away, but it was still a good time, and I'm glad I watched it, and I would totally recommend it. Maybe give the trailer a quick peek just to make sure it's your vibe, but like, it's a good, solid, interesting little movie. And lastly is Possessed. This is a 2009 film that also goes by the name of Faithless Hell or Distrust Hell or Living Death. The basic premise is this girl lives alone with her mother, and one night she calls her older sister, so the sister comes to the apartment to see what's up. Turns out the younger sister is gone missing, so it's the older sister investigating what the hell is going on while a lazy police officer also does stuff. I don't exactly know what to make of this film, because like obviously the main title is Possessed, and there's a lot of evidence pointing to the younger sister being possessed, or maybe people believing that she's possessed, and there's potentially supernatural stuff going on, or maybe not and everyone's lying. I really don't know, in kind of a not satisfying sort of way, because I do like ambiguity in horror movies. I think that can be really interesting, but this one I was kind of a little lost on. I still enjoyed it a good solid amount. I think it was an interesting story. I liked the performances a lot. There were some really good effects and good horror elements to it. So even though I do not think I entirely understood this movie, I still had a positive experience with this movie. It's kind of a harder one to recommend because I could see people being more confused than I was. Though I do think in general it is a liked film, so I think if you like thriller horror things with a bit of a supernatural touch to them, then I would cautiously recommend. I do think you are the right audience for this movie, though it might not necessarily land perfectly for you. So yeah, no, it's a strange little film that I would kind of sort of recommend. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Missing You sitting at number 60 in the Really Like section. And then after that is Hansel and Gretel sitting at number 98 in the Quite Like section. And then bringing up the rear, not too terribly far behind, is Possession sitting at number 117, again in the Quite Like section. This is out of a total of 231 old movies so far this year.